You're listening to the Fan Club Podcast, where two polar opposites experience each other's fandoms for the very first time.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Fan Club Podcast. My name is Sarah.
This is Matthew.
And today is episode 23. We are covering Spider-Man Far From Home. So this is going to be a little kind of off, because typically we've been doing everything in release order.
So we're doing these two back to back just because
we wanted to cover all of the TV shows together. Well, not together, but like all one after the other.
Yes.
And so obviously No Way Home comes out like in between some of the shows.
Yes.
Really, it doesn't matter that much
because the
information is still the same.
Because
there's not many spoilers going forward.
At this point, everyone's story is its own. They're not going to.
But also, like,
there's a few that we have to watch in a certain order, though.
Like, obviously, I need to see No Way Home before I can watch Doctor Strange. The newer Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And
kinda. You need to watch WandaVision before Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
So we took a couple weeks break. Just life got weird.
Life got busy.
So in that time we watched No Way Home. Or sorry, we watched Far From Home. We watched No Way Home, and we watched all of WandaVision. So. We might have to go. I might have to go back and rewatch parts of WandaVision.
Yeah.
But I did take pretty good notes. I think
the episodes are also only like 45 minutes.
So,
let's get into this.
So this is Far From Home. It was directed by John Watts and released in 2019. This is
the first movie that came out after Endgame.
Yeah.
So
it is insane to me that we're covering 2019 movies. Like,
but the movie takes place in like 2024.
No, I know that because like obviously this is like after what they refer to in this movie as the blip.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just crazy because like we started this podcast covering movies from 2008,
and we are almost caught up. We should be caught up in February with everything.
It is currently the beginning of September right now.
Yeah.
And that seems like a long way off, though. Maria Hill and Nick Fury arrive in Mexico. There's some kind of happenings going on in Mexico. There was some kind of...
They've had windstorms with faces, which is how the people there were describing it. We get introduced to Quentin Beck,
played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
And I, don't mind Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor. I think he's... bland is the best word I can describe.
Yeah.
I don't think he's, bad by any means. I guess if you're a Taylor Swift fan, he's bad, but that's a whole other rabbit hole.
But, yeah, So,
yeah, I don't mind Jake Gyllenhaal that much. I do really, for some reason, I have always really loved the movie The Day After Tomorrow with Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal, the one where the world freezes.
Yes. It freezes and, heats up.
I don't know why I've
earthquakes.
always loved that movie. I think it's just because it's, my dad loves disaster movies.
I think I've seen that movie twice.
My dad loves disaster movies and, creature movies, so, Anaconda and, Sharknado and things like that.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I have just, nostalgia for Day After Tomorrow for some reason. So, young Jake Gyllenhaal has always been,
Well, he's not young in this movie. Dude has gotten old.
We go to... There's basically, a little flash to the morning announcements with Betty and whatever the heck that other guy's name is. And they're basically doing, a remembrance video to the tune of I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Love that song. Weird choice. For a memorial video.
It's to the heroes.
Yeah. And they're basically talking about, the people who died in the blip.
Mm-hmm. And,
Captain America.
And, or not. Also, we also see people coming back from the blip, which... There's always been theories with, what if you were in an airplane? Where would you respawn? Where would you get...
Would you just, respawn in the middle of the ocean?
That's the thing. They never answer, so some people say, because...
Or if, you were on the subway, would you just show up on the subway again?
That's the theory. Because we saw in Spider-Man, where the band people showed back up, in the middle of a basketball game. So
yeah, because like because we get like little clips of like clearly the kids were like, you know, filming the basketball game or whatever it was,
and then the band came in.
Yeah, or I think it was a football game, and then there was a basketball game where people just showed up in the stands.
No, they were showing up on the court. It was like the marching band people.
Yeah.
And then like cars were just reappearing on the streets and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that does really pose the airplane question.
And then like May reappeared in her apartment.
Yeah, and so basically May's entire arc in this is that she showed up in her apartment, and obviously it's been 5 years, so like, you know, her apartment was sold.
Yeah.
And so she like is like homeless now.
No, they have a place.
No, but like she lost her home basically.
Yeah. But it just poses the question. The theory goes that when Hulk snapped, he also put in his wish, or we're just going to say wish, because that's the easiest way to describe it, that everyone got back safely, is the theory.
If you're flying, if you got snapped in the middle of, like, a you know, transatlantic plane ride...
The theory goes that
Would you just end up at your destination? Would you end up at home?
No one knows. The fan theory just goes that it's a safe place. That could be in the water. That could be on land. We don't know. They've never said.
Let us know what your guys' thoughts on that are, because I'm interested to see
other people's theories on it.
Because I think that is a really interesting conversation.
Because it would make sense for them to spawn in the air, but then all those people would be dead.
Yeah. Basically, we learned that the kids are going to Venice.
They're going to Europe.
Did your school ever do like a senior trip?
No.
Neither did mine.
But this was more for like they also go to Midtown, like they go to the science school. So it's more of like...
It's like a magnet school.
Yes. It's like a STEM school.
Yeah, because like I know for a fact when I was in high school, because I was in French, I guess part of my foreign language, I was in French, and I know that there was a point in time where they were talking about having us all go to Paris, but the trip never happened. Like, we had like a parents meeting about it, but like it never came to fruition ever. And I don't know if enough people like just didn't sign up for it or what. But
I mean, because it looked like it was just like a class size, so it might have just been that one class.
I don't know.
I mean, it also looks like all the people that were on like the debate team.
Yeah, it's like the main cast basically. The kids that are, you know, MJ and Peter and Betty and Ned.
I wouldn't call Betty
and
main.
Flash.
I wouldn't call Betty main.
No, but like I'm saying, like the main like group of kids that he goes to school with.
Yeah.
But like I don't know what it is about school trips that are like a big trope in movies, like Lizzie McGuire movie and like a couple of others, and like they're just like a big trope in media, and I'm like. I know that, like, a couple of schools, like, if you're in marching band, you go to Disney World, or, like, I know that, like, my high school, way after I graduated, my high school marching band did the Macy's Day Parade at one point, but, like, I mean, that was, like, way after I graduated.
Yeah, no, my high school would not have done anything like that. The most that my high school would have done was, you could get, like, an Australian foreign exchange student.
Oh, yeah, my school didn't even do that.
And you could trade. So, you could go to Australia for 2 weeks, and then an Australian student would come and replace you for 2 weeks.
Basically, there's this plot line that Happy and May have the hots for each other, which, at first, I was like, this is
because I think Happy has been helping her.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a little cringy, but actually it's kind of sweet.
Because Happy didn't get blipped.
Yeah.
So Happy may be helping her, like, reestablish her footing.
I just don't get why I get for, like, a plot device aspect of things, but, like, I don't get why they kept tiptoeing around it, because, like, Peter is, like, what, 16, 17?
Because that's the thing. In the comics, the only other person that I can recall that Aunt May ever really...
was Ben.
Or, no. I mean, I think, married Doc Ock.
Ew.
And
I wish you guys could see my face right now.
And Triple J. James Jonah Jameson.
Again, Aunt May, get some better choices, lady.
In the comics. They're different arcs. I could be wrong with Doc Ock.
What? I have seen people choose better options on freaking Tinder. Like, are you kidding me? Doc Ock and J. Jonah Jameson, are you kidding me? What I was saying before with Happy and May, I think it's weird to me that they kept trying to keep it from Peter. So they basically, the kids are going to Venice, and this is when I wrote down, international flights are my own personal circle of hell.
Yeah.
I don't like flying. That is something, like, a weird fact about me. I just, like, it's less about the actual plane and more about just the logistics and the airport and the travel. Like, I would love to travel internationally. I just don't want to go through the process of going to the airport and stuff.
One interesting thing with that they did with No Way Home, which I actually like, or Far From Home.
This is Far From Home. It's very confusing.
Whichever one this one is, because it's
Far From Home.
Far From Home. They introduced Feast, which I like. So it's the shelter that she's working with, which they go more into in No Way Home.
Yes, for sure.
And
I really like that story arc with May, but we'll talk more about it in No Way Home.
But
it's a little more relevant there.
Because with that they tied in the PlayStation game, because Aunt May runs Feast in the PlayStation game, Spider-Man. Which I like, that they introduced a way to tie in the Marvel's the Spider-Man to the MCU.
I do really
without it making it MCU.
I like that. I like this montage scene when they're on the plane and they're just like being teenagers and like we figure out that Ned and Betty are dating now and they're just like, I don't know, they're just being cute. They're like sleeping on each other's shoulders and like, I love those little moments because you forget Peter is a kid.
They're teenagers.
And I like when teenagers in movies behave like teenagers. And they don't behave like...
They're close to teenagers in age, to be completely honest.
Adults, you mean?
Or...
You said they're close to teenagers in age.
The actors.
Okay, yeah. No, but because I'm so accustomed to shows and movies that the characters are teenagers, but they don't behave like them.
Like in Riverdale?
Yeah. Or like Gossip Girl.
High School Musical.
High School Musical, they behave like...
Not in 2 or 3.
This is true.
In 1, maybe.
But like...
But in 2 and 3...
I think we've just our society's become so accustomed to like mini adults. And I appreciate the fact that they treat these characters like kids. Because they are. And, Peter makes mistakes because he's a kid.
He's a teenager.
He's a dumb boy.
Yeah. He does have a lot resting on him.
No, and I appreciate that. I'm just saying, like, he is... we'll talk about it more, but he is so overly trusting. And, we'll talk about it more as this movie goes forward, but...
Spider-Man could be Hufflepuff. He is.
He is very, very loyal, and...
But also very, very trusting, which is also a Hufflepuff trait.
I think Tom Holland... I think there's a case to be made...
I'm talking about Spider-Man, not Tom Holland.
No. I'm talking Tom Holland's Peter Parker.
Yes.
I think there's a case to be made for each one of them being in different houses.
Absolutely.
Frankly.
Absolutely. But we will go over that more in Far From Home.
But Tom Holland's Spider-Man for sure is a Hufflepuff.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think we touched on it a little bit in Homecoming.
Okay, guys. So, we're going to do... So, we've decided we are going to do Harry Potter next. I know this is a little bit off topic, but we're going to do...
We wanted to do, like, a bridge episode between the two, so we wanted to...
February.
We wanted to sort...
Yeah, so we're going to sort all of the major Marvel people. So, like...
We're obviously going to the main Avengers, the love interests,
like, in Spider-Man, we're going to do Peter... MJ,
Ned,
May, Ned.
Happy?
Happy would be Iron Man.
This is true.
But Happy does change from Iron Man 1 to Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
He does change. And maybe Betty, we have to do Flash, because Flash is a major component in it. So if you guys want us to rank other people in...
Or sort other people.
Yeah, if you want us to sort other people...
If you guys have somebody... Like, obviously we're going to do the, Iron Man and Pepper Potts and
yeah,
Becky
we're going to do
Cap
everyone. But we just...
If you have a person that, like, you absolutely want us to sort... I don't know.
Yeah, if you want us to do, like, a smaller character on the ranking, let us know. We will.
And some of them are going to be a little difficult. Like, I have no idea where to put Groot, honestly.
We would have to separate Groot into 3. Teenage Groot, adult Groot, baby Groot.
Yeah, but he doesn't have, like, he doesn't tell us his thoughts and feelings, so we have no idea.
We would have to base his off of what he does.
I have an idea where I would put him, but you'll have to wait.
Yeah. So, sorry for going off a little bit. It's just...
But if you have anybody that you're like, I really want to know your thoughts on where this person lies.
Or if you have, like, in that episode, you may disagree with us. Let us know. If you think, you know what, no, this character needs to be... I
am absolutely adamant that Captain America is a Hufflepuff. If you fully disagree, let me know.
Yeah, let us know and tell us your reasoning. And we may agree with you, or it may change our mind.
Yeah, just give us your feedback and, like, where you think everybody lies, and we'll take your answers into account.
Yeah. So Spider-Man wasn't going to take a suit because he just wanted to relax.
But Aunt May was like, you should probably take it.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame her for saying it, because things get crazy.
It would have been weird,
What song is playing during the boat ride? I cannot remember.
I don't remember on top of my head.
It's apparently... I wrote down that it's a song from TikTok, that I only know it from TikTok. Oh, it's the Bumbo Luck, Bumbo da ba da. I don't know what they're actually saying, but
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Editing Sarah here. So the song is called Bongo Cha 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 by Caterino Valente. But you probably have heard it on TikTok.
No, so the Dallas Morning News, years and years and years ago, I want to say this was back in like 2003, 2004.
I did not live in the state yet.
Reprinted the first 20. It was like the...
Dallas Morning News seems like an odd...
It might have been a national thing, I don't know. It was just in the comic. Or it was in the newspaper. That's all I remember. I don't remember if it was like once a month or once a week. I don't really remember. Yeah. I just know that I got the first 20 from that.
So, yeah, they're on a boat ride in Venice. And again, I know I, like, went on about it, but, like, I just love them behaving like teenagers. Mm-hmm. And, like, they also all just kind of behave like friends as well, which is...
I mean, they are.
Oh, no, I know, but I love moments like that where it's obviously, like, not contrived or forced. Yeah. Where, like, it looks like the actors are actually genuinely having fun. Mm-hmm. And I love stuff like that because, like, you hear all the time about actors disliking each other on set and stuff.
That's the thing. I haven't heard anything like that with the MCU.
No. And, like, I'm sure that there are some people that are, like, you know, we're just coworkers and we don't hang out outside of work.
Yeah.
Not
the core Marvel cast. Not the original 6. You know that they all have matching tattoos.
What are their tattoos?
They combined all of their logos.
That's really cool, though. So Peter buys something... He buys a Black Dahlia necklace...
Yeah.
...for MJ because she likes the murder, which... I'm not even going to open that can of worms, but okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, that murder is really fascinating.
I just
like... The fact that they still haven't solved it and it happened in the 30s is insane.
What I like is that they didn't go for the typical Mary Jane. I do like that.
Yeah,
they went with Michelle Jones, which...
Because, don't get me wrong, I liked MJ, the Kirsten Dunst MJ.
Yes, I know.
But I think that she was a very early 2000s heroine, where she's kind of a damsel in distress type.
Yeah, but
whereas I don't think Zendaya's MJ is that.
No. MJ and Tobey Maguire's was mean. She literally, like, cheated on Harry.
No kidding.
She left her husband to be at the altar.
I think it's just because I like Kirsten Dunst.
Like, that MJ was just mean and, like, cruel. Like, not mean and cruel.
She just constantly left Peter hanging.
Yes, all the time. Like, she left Peter for Harry. She left Harry for James Jonah Jameson's son.
So while they're on the boat, there's like something in the water. I thought the villain was going to be a water creature of some kind.
Yeah. I mean, but we know that there's already been a wind.
I thought it was going to be like more of like a sea monster, not necessarily a monster made out of water.
I do like the reference that is coming up, though.
What?
I'll talk about it right after this.
So they're basically, it's this giant man made out of water.
Yeah.
That is like just there to mess things up.
They do talk about another villain. They do talk about Hydro Man.
Yeah, and Peter left his suit in the hotel, so he puts on a masquerade mask so he can like. But I'm like, people knew what you were wearing, my dude.
But with everything that's going on,
I guess he is just wearing like jeans and a flannel. So like, we meet. Well, I guess we don't meet. We met him earlier, but Jake Gyllenhaal was here. I really love the shot where Peter tries to repair the broken clock tower with his webs. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really cool.
And we get to see Mysterio again.
Yeah.
Which...
he beats the water guys and flies away.
Yeah. But... so they reference Hydro Man, who, if you remember from Spider-Man 3, you remember Sandman? Vaguely with how he...
don't know if I've seen that one.
Okay, so Hydro Man, exposed to the same type of thing that turned Sandman into Sandman. It was just another science experiment that went wrong.
Yeah.
But he blames Spider-Man because Spider-Man was on the ship, didn't help for some
basically
reason.
His name is coined by the kids calling him Mysterio.
No, it's
or the news.
The news says Mystery Man.
Yeah.
And so it's just Mysterio gets coined.
And they get back to the hotel, and Nick Fury knocks out Ned with like a little dart thing.
Yeah.
And
because he keeps leaving him on red. Or he keeps ignoring his calls.
Which, given the trauma of Peter's story, wouldn't you?
No, he was doing it because he just wants to live a normal life.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he just wants to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
He doesn't...
He can't go back to just be...
pre-Infinity War.
No, he's not the friendly everyday Spider-Man. He literally went to space. He fought Thanos. I mean, he got his face beaten by Thanos.
But to be fair, he also really shouldn't have been there in the first place.
No, but that's also the kid in him.
Exactly, he makes mistakes.
No, I'm not talking about him being on the ship. Yes, that was a mistake. No, I'm saying avoiding Nick Fury's calls.
He wanted a normal life, he wanted to be a normal kid, but I get that given his trauma.
But with his powers, he can't be a normal kid, though. He can't...
But also, and this is the argument that could be made for Gryffindor, because he has a savior complex.
They all do.
Yeah, but, like, he cannot just, like, let sleeping dogs lie.
He wanted to.
But he can't...
He wanted to. But he wanted to leave. But Nick Fury wouldn't let him. He wanted to not run away, but he wanted to walk away. He was like, this is not my problem. I am on vacation. Find someone else to do it. That's not a Gryffindor trait.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, like, he has the same type of quality that Harry does, where he can't just, like, he can't just leave it alone.
He was.
No, I'm saying, like, for something like a car robbery, or he can't just let it be. So, Tony leaves Peter his sunglasses.
Edith. Dude loves his acronyms.
What does it stand for? It's like...
even in death, I'm a hero.
Even dead, I'm the hero.
Yeah. Even dead, I'm the hero.
So we learn about Earth 616 and Earth 833.
Don't even get me started with that.
Mysterio's... what's his name? Quentin. He basically is, like, trying to say that, like, there's different Earths, and that he's from the other Earth, and he's trying to save this Earth, and, like, obviously we know... I don't need to keep up the pretense. Obviously we know he's lying. Well, obviously I didn't know at this point in time that he was lying. And we learn about the elementals. So there's a different villain for each element.
Yes, Earth, Wind, Air, Fire. Sounds like a September song.
I was gonna say it sounds like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I have never seen.
Earth, Wind, Air, Fire. 4 nations lived in harmony.
The trip got hijacked by Nick, and now they're heading to Prague.
Yes.
Which Prague has been like on my bucket list. I
Oh.
think since I saw it on The Amazing Race when I was like 10.
Mm-hmm. On their way to Prague, Spider-Man gets the black suit, the black Spider-Man suit, because he didn't want, his whole thing with Nick Fury was he didn't want to be seen as Spider-Man on his trip.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't want his classmates to figure out that he's Spider-Man.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Which makes a fun scene with the other dude that wants to get with MJ.
Brad. I'm torn between 2 favorite suits. It's either Iron Spider in Infinity War, or it's the one at the end of this movie that he makes himself.
Yes. That's the thing. He is a mini Iron Man.
With different powers, obviously,
But same intellect.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're jumping ahead a lot. We're going to come back to this. Back to what I'm about to say. Peter is a younger version of Iron Man.
I think Peter doesn't have the same arrogance.
No, not the same arrogance. I'm talking about the same, like... He literally built his own suit from his other suits. He took bits and pieces from everything. And like, okay, I need to boost this up more. I need to lower this. He did that on the fly.
Yeah. So he goes into like a little building.
Yeah.
And then he's given the suit, and the woman basically was like, well, try it on. And Brad finds him with his pants down with this strange woman.
This strange German woman.
And, they're in Prague. They're in Austria. So
I thought they were still...
Prague is in Austria.
No, they weren't in Prague yet. They were on their way there. I thought they were leaving from Germany.
Editing Sarah here, so I keep referring to Prague being in Austria, but it's actually in the Czech Republic. My bad. Also, the route that they would drive from Venice to Prague, they would go through Austria, so the woman conceivably would either be Austrian or Czech. So, not German at all.
We see the fireman almost kill Brad.
Oh yeah, he accidentally said...
Edith.
Because he's like playing around with Edith.
And he's like, take Brad out. And then she says, okay, killing Brad. And then he has to stop the drone.
So yeah, then we learn we have to keep the fire monster away from metal.
Or, yeah, we learn more with that. The issue I have with him saying the MCU's Earth 616, which I know Mr. Marvel Minutes and Earth 894 will also understand this. The Marvel comic book series is Earth 616.
See, that makes me think of Stitch, because he's 626.
The MCU, I think, is like 19669 or something like that. It's such of a...
You might as well be speaking Greek right now.
It's the same as the multiverse.
I get it, you are not speaking a language I understand.
He was just wrong with the Earths. So, in the multiverse, there's also different Thors, different Iron Mans, etc. Like, there's one where it's Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker.
I know in the next episode we're going to have to talk about the multiverse.
I'll explain it for you easily.
So, he has a heart-to-heart with Beck. And meanwhile, the kids are going... What?
The heart-to-heart is after the fight.
It's like intercut. These scenes are like intercut.
Oh, yeah. Him, because Peter runs off. He's like, I just want to relax again, blah, blah, blah. Beck's like, I understand. We need you right now.
Meanwhile, the kids are going to the opera, to which I say, why are we taking a bunch of teenagers to the opera? I am a 28-year-old woman and don't want to go to the opera.
Because, Peter said, I will help you, but you have to protect my class.
Yeah, and so he basically gets him, like...
Tickets to the opera. On the biggest night.
There's, like, a big party going on.
Yes. Yeah, a big
carnival.
Parade, festival, carnival.
And...
MJ's mad at Peter. Brad uses it to his advantage.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I get the opera is like, I get that the opera is like culture and all that, but like I would much rather go to a carnival.
Yes, but also that was Peter's one demand to Nick Fury, that you have to protect my class if I'm going to help you, because you keep pulling my class to get me to help you.
So all the kids decide that they're gonna.
Or it's Ned and Betty.
Yeah, they decide, and MJ, and
MJ chases after Peter.
They basically decide that they're gonna go to the carnival anyway, and a giant fire monster breaks out.
Yeah, the strongest elemental.
And Peter is wearing his black suit, and he gets coined the Night Monkey
by Ned. Because Ned had to come up with some lie when he could have said Night Monkey is the European knockoff of Spider-Man. Same exact moves, same exact abilities.
And I love how I called that Mysterio is evil, like literally 3 minutes before he was revealed to be evil.
Yeah, Mysterio.
It wasn't really a reveal that much.
Yeah, Mysterio's the main villain.
I do think that it was a good twist, but it wasn't like, I really want another like plot twist, that like a gotcha moment like Guardians 2 got me.
But his reasoning though, everyone's reasoning though.
Yeah, so he basically steals the glass. Oh, he doesn't steal the glasses.
Peter gives him the glasses because Peter realized he was supposed to choose the hero.
And I have a note that says no with like 9 O's that says don't give them to him.
But we learned
that Barf was his invention.
Yes, and he was mad that Tony called it Barf,
which is the little like
at the beginning of Civil War.
Yeah, was this?
Yeah, it was Civil War.
Yeah, the thing that he does with his like to see his parents, the MIT presentation.
Yeah, because Quentin was mad that he used it just for a therapy session when it could have been used for a lot more. And then the other guy, the bald-headed dude, we've seen before. Do you remember where?
That I didn't recognize it until you like had pointed out that Obadiah was screaming at him.
One of them was the scientist that Obadiah yelled at because he said we can't miniaturize the arc reactor. But I noticed this after the fact by reading another article. The taller dude that's on his team,
the guy with the beard,
the one that was driving the bus at the end,
guy, yeah,
has been at every single point following Peter. He was in every single airport, keeping tabs on Peter.
That's interesting. I do think that this master plan is incredible because like all of his team has a job. And I think that it was very well thought out. And, like, this is going to sound really stupid, but it was very comic book supervillainy.
Yes.
But it was very, like, classic comic book
in the comics, he uses, like, 3D projections to mess with people. That's his whole... He's the master of illusions in the comics. He was introduced in Spider-Man issue 13. So he's been a Spider-Man villain for a long
basically
time.
Because the fire monster is like messing stuff up at the carnival, the teachers decide that they're gonna take the kids home. And Peter and MJ have a really sweet moment together
on the bridge. He finds out that she has a piece of the projection. I
really enjoy this Peter and this version of MJ
because like
I just think they're really sweet.
He starts freaking out saying, I'm Peter Parker. Or, I'm Spider-Man. And
like, obviously we know that she's his romantic interest.
Yes.
But right now, they're just friends. Yeah. And I think that it's really sweet that these characters didn't automatically jump to a romance. I think it's really nice and refreshing in comparison to, like, what we're typically given.
Like, Peter and Gamora, who...
I like... Because it's far more realistic, especially at their
ages. With teenagers, yeah.
Yeah, it's far more realistic. And I really, really enjoy that.
But this scene...
I just love their chemistry,
This scene is so funny because it's them both freaking out that
Peter's freaking out because he's worried that she's going to find out. And, right?
No, so he's freaking out because she drops the projection piece, and the storm thing comes, and they get freaked out, and so he's like, I'm Spider-Man, and she's like, are you really? He's like, yes. She's like, okay, I was only like 74% sure. And he's like, yes, we need to go now. And so they figure out that all of the monsters were fake.
And Mysterio's the grand plan is to go to London and launch a fake attack.
An Avengers level threat to make him the greatest hero
I do love
ever.
that this movie takes place in London. I went to England when I was 10 years old, and I've always wanted to go back, and I just, like, I don't know, there's just something about London that I just really enjoy.
So, something funny, this doesn't even deal with Spider-Man or Peter Parker, this is more with Tom Holland.
Oh, you told me this.
When filming Homecoming, he's
from London.
He lives in London full time.
Yeah.
He doesn't live in Hollywood. So when they were filming Homecoming, he was nowhere near his home. When they were filming Far From Home, he was 15 minutes from his house during the London part. So he just made a joke in an interview like, the title of my movies are never correct because it's either I'm far from home when I'm 15 minutes or I'm homecoming when I'm across the world.
Yeah.
And so it's just, Tom Holland is probably the closest to Peter Parker. I don't know if I talked about this in Endgame or not. I don't remember.
We had a conversation about it off air.
He was given a script with no one else's lines. Just his
own. Because they couldn't trust him.
No. And the scripts that they gave him were fake scripts. So if they got leaked, they were fake. He would literally be given the script of that day when he would show up to film. And if he was not filming, he was kept in his trailer. If he was not in filming anything on a live stream.
It reminds me of a clip that Maisie Williams, who plays Arya Stark on Game of Thrones, was on Jimmy Fallon, and she said something.
I think I remember this.
She said something. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was like trying. It was fake. It ended up being fake, but like.
Wasn't it something about season 8?
She was like, "Oh, it's like, you know, when I die or whatever."
Yes, I remember that.
And like then she like makes everybody think that like she's like, "Is this live?"
I remember that. In The Illusion, there were so many different scenes, and one of them was, he was saying you can't even save your favorite hero, and it was Iron Man crawling out of the dirt.
Oh, yeah. So
with Peter freaking. But this is also before Peter has the. I hate calling it this. The Peter tingle.
The Spidey sense.
It's not called Spidey sense in this one. It's called the Peter tingle.
I think it's dumb.
Yes, it is. It is a dumb name. It is funny, but it is a dumb name. But this is before he has his real Spidey sense.
So basically, Peter gets hit by a train.
Oh my gosh, this is bad. Like, just full on. Like, you don't know what's real and what's not.
It is very well shot, though, because I couldn't tell.
At first, you see Peter and Nick Fury go into a building and talking to people.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next thing you know, the building is, being renovated, and everyone is gone.
It's a construction
It's
site.
a construction zone. And everything's being remodeled.
What I really like about this is every single thing you're thinking, oh, is this real?
Is this real? Like, there was even scenes, the building wasn't big at all, but with the projections,
which
it made
would
it
not
look,
work in real life.
I mean, it's just...
They wouldn't be as realistic.
I mean, but there was also a ton of drones shooting the images everywhere.
I'm just saying this stuff could not happen. Like, projections... Like, they use projections a lot, like, for Broadway shows and stuff. But, like, when you're in an audience looking at, like, a flat image, it's completely different.
But this was also drones made by Tony Stark.
No, I'm just saying it's... No. From what the technology we have now,
I doubt it.
It would not be...
Maybe, but...
It wouldn't be as realistic as what it is.
No. It would have... But the green mist, the mirrors breaking around him, the buildings falling on him... were so realistic looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
He wakes up in a jail in the Netherlands.
Uh-huh.
Which, again, one of my bucket list places. My dad has a really good friend that lives in the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. And I've always wanted to go. And it's like, every time my dad goes to see his friend, it's like this beautiful countryside, and it's like, I'm just so jealous of like just, Netherlands has always been on my bucket list.
So he calls Happy when he gets out.
Yeah. And he picks him up in the middle of a very Netherlands
rose tulip field?
It's like a tulip field with like it's like the most stereotypical Netherlands area.
Like postcard. So Peter is freaking out because he doesn't know what's real and what's not. He still thinks this is all fake from Quentin Beck. So he asks Happy a question. I don't remember what Happy said, but he realizes that that's the real Happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so
basically
he admits that he messed up.
He picks him up in, it's not the Hellcat.
It would be the Quinjet.
It's the Quinjet. And
the essential Quinjet.
He basically gets to build his own suit.
To Back in Black by Led Zeppelin.
No, it's AC/DC.
But he said Led Zeppelin.
No, that's the joke.
Yeah, and I know.
It's an AC/DC song.
I know it's an AC/DC song.
But Peter is like, I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
To which every person with a brain is going...
That's why I said it, is because it's the joke.
I thought you were serious.
No, I'm not serious. I know it's... We see... So kind of like what I was saying earlier. We see the genius of Peter Parker making his suit, which reminds Happy of Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Or should we just say Tony Stank? We can thank Stan Lee for that one. R.I.P. No, but we see him building his suit, which you thought... What did you think?
Happy, like, pushes a button, and immediately in my brain I was like, oh, there's a Spider-Man suit, like, stored in this plane. I did not think there was going to be a whole machine.
Mm-hmm. Literally. He built his suit from nothing to have all of the features of the suits that Tony made him. So, like, the spider on the inside, the electric webs, the flying squirrel suit, the look of it.
Which, I love the flying squirrel. I think it's so funny, and I think, I don't know, I just love it.
Peter didn't forget where he got his first suit from. He could have gone in any direction. There's been probably 100 different Spider-Man suits ever. And he went with one that was the most similar to Iron Man's first design that he made for him. Which I liked. That he went back to his, not original roots, but his first special suit.
So...
that he didn't have to make himself.
Basically, Peter tries to destroy the illusion from the inside.
Yes. And he realizes how big it is. Or Nick Fury is starting to get doubts. So Happy calls him and says everything is not face value. Or don't take everything at face value. Mm-hmm. Which is a little bit on the nose later. You know what I'm talking about.
Not really, but okay.
The in-scene credit.
Yeah.
We finally see how big or how intricate this stuff is for these projections. Mm-hmm. When I first saw this, I didn't realize it was that many robots controlling it.
They're all these like tiny little
robots.
Yeah.
But there's also probably 100, 200 in that.
They blow up Happy's jet, which, glad everybody got out safe.
I mean, the only ones that were on it was Happy and Peter.
I know. Well, Peter had already jumped off.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Happy got out safe. Because they
go to the tower.
Yeah, they're in the Tower of London. So basically, the Tower of London it's basically a giant museum, and there's a part of it where they have the crown jewels within a vault.
Yeah.
And Happy takes the shield from like one of the suits of armor
and just throws it. It's like, how does Cap do that? Cap is also like ripped and muscular and tall and strong.
So all the while, this confrontation between Peter and Beck are on this like walkway.
It's like above the
tower, the bridge, the tower bridge.
Yeah.
Frankly,
bridge.
I think that is one of the least cinematic places they could have had that fight.
But we also saw, Peter ran out of webs from webbing all of the people together, or the drones.
They have a conversation with the other Peters about their webs in No Way Home, which I really enjoyed.
Which is funny.
We'll get there.
But he makes a shield and a mace out of electronics, and he just beats the drones with it. That just shows his ability to adapt to any situation.
I'm just saying, this is like, you're on the Tower Bridge, and...
But Beck was also staying out of sight.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Because
it's like,
think about it.
I'm just saying, you're in London.
So think
Make
about
it cinematic.
Beck was fighting Mysterio. Fake Mysterio was fighting the space thing, the projection. While Quentin Beck was hiding. While talking through the illusion.
Yeah.
But then we see Maria Hill with a rocket launcher shoots one of the drones that's in front of the window.
And they disengage all the drones.
Peter is on there with Quentin. I don't know if you noticed this or not. Do you remember how...
Probably not.
Do you remember how Quentin held the glasses?
No.
He held it like he was holding a gun, because he actually was. If you remember, the real Quentin was next to Peter invisible. Holding a gun at him, like this. So, the glasses were like this, while the gun was like this at Peter's head. This is when Peter got the tingle. The Spidey tingle. Was because he knew that Quentin was there. But I still don't know how Quentin died. Because it looked like he was shot, or maybe, I don't know. It never really explained how Quentin died.
Because we don't actually see his death.
No.
So...
Because the Quentin on the ground was not real.
Yeah. So, Beck dies, and MJ goes and kisses Peter, which I think is very sweet.
And then we go back to New York a week later.
And Peter is interrogating May and Happy about their relationship.
One was saying it was a summer fling. The other was saying...
I love how Peter's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
Just be happy.
Yeah. If you want to be together, be together. If you don't, then don't.
And he decides to take MJ on a swing, which, I'm sorry. If you are able to swing through a city, don't take me with you. Please.
She freaks out. I'm just glad that they fixed a mistake that was in the first Spider-Man.
That her hair is blowing
the wrong direction.
Way.
Yes. That didn't happen in this one.
So this is my last two notes are the big, like, what moments.
So, Quentin faked. So, when Quentin was about to die, he told the bald-headed dude, create that scene. Which was Peter killing Quentin Beck. And then Quentin also saying that that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And then the movie ends. And then we get...
I have a note that literally, in all caps, it says, they were Skrull the entire time?
So, do you remember that theory I was telling you a couple weeks ago?
I don't know how I feel about this.
So, the Skrull in the Nick Fury and Maria Hill in this movie were Skrull. And it's the same two Skrulls that we were introduced in Captain Marvel. Talos and the other one. We see that Nick Fury is on a Skrull ship. And we don't know how long he's been there. So, that's why I was telling you about that fan theory. That Nick Fury this entire time could have been the Skrull. Could have been Talos. He could have been this entire time. So, the Nick Fury that disappeared in Infinity War...
I think my issue with it is that I've made it very clear that I do not like Captain Marvel as a movie or as a character. And I don't really like that movie has actual impact on the rest of the story.
The Skrull are important.
It bugs me.
They're important in this Secret Wars. The Skrull are important.
I'm glad that Captain Marvel as a character is not a MacGuffin in this movie.
Yeah. But, so, that's where the fan theory comes in from, is that how long have the Skrull been Nick Fury? Was it just for this? Or was Talos the one that got blipped? I'm
really undecided how I feel about that theory in general, because the implications of a lot of things. How long?
But that would make sense with how S.H.I.E.L.D. got so technology advanced so quickly. I
just don't think I like it. Maybe it's because, like, I almost feel like I was gypped. Like, I was duped. So, that is Spider-Man Far From Home.
So this is actually the first of Phase 4.
Yeah, it's a good start.
This is the start of the multiverse saga. Yeah, this would be the start of Phase 4.
I have really
I think.
enjoyed obviously at this point that we're currently recording, I have already seen No Way Home. Yeah. And I really enjoyed the Spider-Man franchise, the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy a lot. Like I said, one of the big reasons I love it is that I just love that they behave like kids.
They're teenagers.
And I like that he is allowed to make a mistake like a kid. And I've seen within each movie and as a whole, I've seen so much character development from Peter.
Yeah.
And I really am excited to see where they take the character in the future.
Yeah. I don't know how much more they'll do with him after No Way Home.
Fair enough. What are where does this stack for you? Either both as a Spider-Man movie and as an MCU movie. Where does it?
I like this. All of the Tom Holland's Spider-Mans are up there for me.
Is he your favorite Spider-Man?
It's hard to say because
they're so different.
Not even that. For Spider-Man, it's more of I like the villains. Because the villains...
Because as a Spider-Man comic fan...
The villains help Peter become a better Spider-Man. Like Doc Ock. Peter used to work for Doc Ock.
But as a comic book fan, who is your favorite representation of the comic character?
Tom Holland is the closest to Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite is Miles Morales.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen...
Just because Miles Morales, his Spider-Man has always been a teenager. There's never...
You really enjoy the game.
Yes, I love the PlayStation Spider-Man and Spider-Man Morales game. I love playing them.
You literally just play them just to relax.
Yes. Like, I have beaten them both probably 10 or 15 times now at this point. I'm streaming them over on my Twitch.
Yeah. If you want to go follow his Twitch, it's SOD3101.
SOD3101.
And he streams like a bunch of different stuff, but...
Yeah. Right now, it's mainly been Destiny and Spider-Man, mainly.
As of recording this.
Yeah, as of recording
who knows what it's going to be when you...
It will probably still be... Or actually on November... It's middle of November? November 10th? That weekend, I'm going to be doing a full God of War stream. Because the new God of War Ragnarok comes out at that time.
So, also the week that this episode comes out is the week that we will be out of town for his sister's wedding. So, I wish we could be a little more active and chat to you guys a little bit. Just we might not be.
So if we're a little bit more quiet on social media that week.
It's just because we're out of town at his sister.
Yeah.
Both Matthew and our son are in the wedding, so we're kind of.
We're gonna be busy doing stuff that week.
But yeah. Megan has been on Iron Man 3, so wish her a happy wedding. We're excited.
But yeah, so I'm going to try...
So yeah, that is a wrap on Far From Home. Next week we will be doing No Way Home. Again, we're kind of going off...
We're going slightly out of order, which...
I don't think that's that big of a deal, but...
We're doing these one after another.
We explained it at the beginning.
Because they follow each other.
Yeah. So, yeah, join us next week for No Way Home, and then also... In case you guys missed it, the entire month of November is dedicated to the TV shows.
From WandaVision to Moon Knight. Just because we can't do Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel until after Doctor Strange.
So, and basically how we're doing it is we're going to be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday episodes.
Or WandaVision has 5 episodes. So WandaVision will be one a day.
One a day.
Weekday, so Monday through Friday.
And then
Falcon, Loki, Hawkeye, and Moon Knight will be 3 episodes
So
each.
it'll be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yes, for those.
So you'll get a lot more content if you guys want to wait till the end of the week to binge them all.
We completely understand.
We get that.
Or if you want to do, because they will be 30-minute, they'll probably be 20 to 30
Yeah,
minute.
we're going to be, at least with WandaVision, we're kind of undecided about the structure of the rest of them, but WandaVision specifically, we're doing 2 episodes.
I mean, we'll have to do 2 each for the TV shows.
But they might be a little bit shorter just because they're,
30, 40-minute TV show episodes.
Yeah. I'm excited to cover WandaVision. I really enjoyed it, so...
Yeah.
Join us for the month of November, that's really not much else to say. We've been recording for a long time. Have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
If you would like to send us any feedback or any messages, you can follow us over on Instagram at thefanclub_podcast or on Twitter at fanclub_podcast. Or you can discuss each episode with us over on our subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/thefanclubpodcast. And make sure that you tune in every Marvel Monday.